Hey friends, welcome back to a brand new video here on the Bioshock Hub. Thank you so much for stopping by, I really do appreciate it. And if you're new here, welcome to the channel, I hope you enjoy your stay. So, yesterday we ended up getting some rather huge information in regards to the Bioshock movie that was announced a couple of years ago. And this is coming from IGN, and there's a ton of other articles about it as well, but IGN was one of the first that actually broke the news. So, if you want to check that article out or a couple of different ones out, I'll link them down in the description as per usual, and I'll also be giving my full thoughts and opinions later on in the video, so stay tuned for that. So without any further delay, let's hop into today's article. Netflix's Bioshock film is still in the works, but is being quote-unquote reconfigured. And this is actually coming from someone at San Diego Comic-Con. This happened, I believe, yesterday if I'm not mistaken. Netflix is still tinkering away on its Bioshock movie, but it has had some changes that will see it scaled back a bit. Producer Roy Lee revealed more about the project during a panel at San Diego Comic-Con this year. He says that following leadership changes, the video game to movie adaptation has been, quote, reconfigured. To me, that's already a big red flag in terms of where this project is in general. Obviously, we haven't heard too much since the initial announcement, as well as figuring out the director and the writer of the movie, but to hear something like this, along with the fact that there's been leadership changes as well, I don't know what to think about that. Time will tell exactly what this means, but Lee at least says that it will result in a, quote, more personal film. Lee says some of the challenges come from lower budgets from Netflix, which saw major shakeups in the movie department when Dan Lee stepped in to replace Scott Stuber as film head earlier this year. And honestly, lower budgets does not mean a worse film. It just means that a lot of filler might have been cut out, but then again, we don't know what their vision was for the original movie, so we can only see what happens later down the line. Details about the Bioshock's movie plot have not been revealed, so it's unclear what it would have looked like before the shift. Hunger Games director Francis Lawrence is still attached to direct, so if Francis Lawrence is still here, it's safe to assume that Michael Green, who is writing the script, is also still attached to the project. The new regime has lowered the budgets, Lee said, so we're doing a much smaller version. It's going to be a more personal point of view as opposed to a grander, big project. So I wonder if this is going to only follow Jack and his journey through Rapture, as the first game obviously illustrates, or if they're going to do something a little bit more. Again, we'll have to wait down the line to see what they want to do. A Bioshock film has been in various stages of development for more than a decade, but it finally started to become a reality when Netflix announced its involvement in 2022. Despite receiving next to no news about any movie plans throughout the 2010s, updates since its announcement have been mostly positive. Lawrence spelled out plans to work with original game director Ken Levine shortly after its reveal, saying at the time that the adaptation will be really true to the game itself. So, big problem right here for me personally. Obviously, as most of you know, Ken Levine and his game studio, Ghost Story Games, are currently working on a game called Judas. Apparently, it's supposed to come out early next year in 2025, I believe around the March timetable, but we don't know when development will actually be completed. So, the movie can actually start later this year, it can start early next year. There's really no set timetable. So, obviously, if Netflix and 2K want to go ahead with the movie, as Francis Lawrence has the vision for it to work with Ken Levine, they're going to have to wait for the completion of that game and its entire development cycle. So, let me know what you guys think of that down in the comment section below. I'd very much appreciate that. The Bioshock movie was still in the writing stages as of October of last year, with Lawrence adding later that he had a script draft that he was super excited about. The Bioshock franchise is known for its different settings, obviously that being Rapture and Columbia. With today's update in mind, we still don't know if the movie project will stick to the classic underwater city location, or take to the skies like Bioshock Infinite, or maybe try something new altogether. Honestly, I think that's kind of silly, if they're going to start off a movie series, I think they're going to start off with Bioshock 1, makes the most amount of sense. So Rapture is the setting that both Francis Lawrence and 2K are going to profit the most off of, and also it's going to be the setting that the majority of the fans want to see the movie take place in. It's clear that there is a lot of work to be done, but Lee's words at least promise that Netflix is still chugging along. So again, let me know what you think of the article down in the comments section below. Now let's get into the final thoughts here, because there is quite a bit that I'd like to talk about. Now there's one big thing I want to discuss towards the end of this video, and that is where can they possibly go from here? Obviously, the downsizing of the project I don't think is the end of the world, as we don't know what they wanted to do with it in the first place, because we don't know what they want to do with the movie or what they even want to do with the new game. However, there is news coming out about both very, very slowly, so at least that's positive. Now, is the actual downsizing of the movie the worst part? No, not at all. What I do think is the biggest issue is the fact of trying to condense everything from the first game into a singular movie. What can they do to kind of remedy that, you might ask? Why not make it a show? Why not make it a season 1 sort of thing where you have about 8 to 10 episodes and you just tell different stories of Rapture? That way you don't have to focus on one specific character throughout the entirety of the movie. If you want, episode 1 can be how Jack ends up getting to Rapture, or give some backstory about the character. 2 can have stuff about Andrew Ryan making Rapture and how he actually founded the city. 3, you can have stuff about Sander Cohen. You can have stuff about Tenenbaum, Fontaine. You can have stuff about Suchong. You can have stuff about any major character from the first game, and you can actually dedicate an episode to them, or half an episode, and then focus on another character that corresponds to the first character, if that makes any sense to you guys. So you could have something like Tenenbaum and Suchong working together, or Fontaine and Suchong, Tenenbaum, Fontaine. Just have an intertwining of characters each episode. You don't have to focus on one specific one. And I think you would actually have more opportunity to tell more stories, if that makes any sense. So if you wouldn't mind letting me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below, I would very much appreciate that, as I want to hear what you, the Bioshock fans and community, want to see with this movie or potential show. If they go with a movie, what do you want to see? If they downgrade to a show, what do you want to see from the show? I'm very interested in hearing what you guys have to say. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed and want to see more Bioshock content in the future, would you kindly drop a like or a dislike and tell me what I can do to make the video better for you down in the comment section below, as well as hitting that subscribe button and hitting the bell and turning on all post notifications to never miss a future video or a future live stream. Thank you. If you want to stay up to date with me outside of YouTube, the best ways to do so are my social medias or by joining my Discord server, the links to which will be down in the description if you want to check those out. And with that being said, a couple of videos should be popping up on the screen here. If you want to watch them, I'd highly recommend it. And with that, take care, stay safe, and I will talk to you all in the next video.